Yes, boom, 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 boom. Oh, my beautiful peeps. It is Meltdown Monday, and I am sitting on the edge of a lightning bolt because as we sit here on a beautiful Monday evening, morning, afternoon, no matter where you are in the world, rest assured that you can wrap your arms around each other and give yourselves a beautiful little hug, just like we saw on Smackdown, because your favorite podcast, my favorite podcast, everybody's favorite podcast is now officially on the air. Welcome to the Meltdown, peeps. It has been one hell of a week, and I am so excited. I am chomping at the bit and foaming at the mouth, ready to delve into one of the hottest episodes of an incredible TV show that has now been running for 26 years. But it wouldn't be any kind of party if we didn't invite the finest man in any room. Ladies and gentlemen, he's my tag team partner. He is the three-time tag team champion of the world, and he is one dashingly handsome chap. Ladies and gentlemen, he's Arizona bound. It's Bryan Clark.
Thank you, Tomcat. Do not get it twisted, ladies and gentlemen. That guy right there, three-time host of the year, unbelievable talent all over the UK, all over the world. And I am blessed to have him as my tag team partner. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. What a show, Tomcat. Amazing Friday night Smackdown. Hey, full of surprises.
It was an epic show.
Surprises. What do we have? 16,000 plus in attendance.
That is amazing. I mean, look at that number, right? So the exact number that came in, 16,678 in the All-Star Arena, Chicago, Illinois. These fans were hot to trot. They were ready for a show like never before. They had heard the rumblings during the week. Punk had laid down a nice little gambit for one Becky Lynch on Monday Night Raw, and people were questioning themselves. Were they going to get AJ Lee? And the WWE did not pull back any punches. They did not disappoint at all. Before we get deep into the show, how did you find it? Do you think the show paced beautifully well? Did you enjoy it?
I really did. For the first time in a while, honestly. I think that for the fact that, the first segment kicked off and that was a good 16 minutes or so. And then through the other matches that we will cover later on in this show. But then again, a strong finish, another 15 plus minute segment. It played out really well. I was impressed with it. And again, the fans had to leave happy on Friday night in Chicago because the card was stacked.
Stacked is the word. We kick things off in the All-Star Arena, 5th of September, 2025. Mark that down on your calendars because it was sure to be a starred date when it came to favorite episodes of SmackDown. The Blue Brand were on fire. We kicked it off with everybody's favorite Unseen 17, WWE Champion of History. He is the GOAT, the GOAT John Cena, and he rocked his way out for his final SmackDown appearance. Let me ask you this question, Bryan, and I'm sure you'll have been in the beautiful buildings in and around the Chicago area. Talk to me about Chicago's crowd. Are they one of the hottest, most vocal, receptive American audiences?
They're definitely up there. I don't know if they're the top, but if you were watching Friday night's show, you would say, wow, this is the hottest crowd I've seen in a while. However, you have to think about we have Madison Square Gardens, we have Toronto, we also have the ATL, Atlanta, which really covers a lot of the Southeast for people to go to, for example, the Georgia Dome, all those big stadiums and arenas. But Chicago definitely is probably top three. I
Ooh,
would
nice.
I would say, I mean, and just based on Friday night's show, you got to see that crowd and be wow. You would think to yourself as an outsider, you're going, wow, this business is red hot, you know. So
Chicago, you're in the Bombers' top three. You must be doing something right, peeps. And you looked incredible doing it. Yes, I had goosebumps running up and down my arm as the crowd popped for John Cena to start things off. Beautiful promo, cut it eloquently, beautifully. And then we had Sami Zayn come out to ruffle the feathers and get into our first match of the evening, which was an unadvertised contest. Let's have a little chat about that. So, unadvertised surprises, the foundations to spark interest and create amazing episodes, is what pro wrestling is about, right?
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
I if you're asking me, and I think that we're on the same page here. I like the surprises. I really do. And Sami Zayn is a guy who surprises me all the time.
Mhm.
Because I think to myself, if I look at Sammy, I've never met him, I don't know him, but if I look at him, I think to myself, well, he doesn't stand a chance against, for the world title, but yet here he is, the U.S. champion. He's done some amazing things, and I say this in the most positive way. The guy always surprises me, and he, hey, as Sheamus would say, banger after banger after banger. The guy delivers. There's nothing really more to be said about it. He has the talent. So yeah, I like the surprises to answer the question, and I'm starting to become a Sami Zayn fan. Just saying.
Oh, excellent. Well, they always said that Ric Flair could have a five-star match with a broom. I have got to give that accolade to one Sami Zayn as well, because as you've just said, he can go out there and have banger after banger after banger against any opponent that is put in front of him, and he always makes it shine, whether it in a position as a babyface or a heel. But as we're talking about heels, as I just dropped that in right there, the WWE's narrative changed quite dramatically only a couple of months ago as John Cena went from the biggest heel in the company, receiving so much wonderful heat that I'm sure at this stage of the career, he was living the dream. He was the top of the bad guy side of the roster. He brought everything down. He was counting down the days until he could wave goodbye to these fans that had sucked the blood from him for the past 20 years. And then it just turned. It just turned on another episode of Smackdown with Cody Rhodes. I'm just trying to build a picture as to why that change occurred so quickly. From you being in an actual locker room, whether it be the WWF or the WCW, and characters are coming in and characters are going out. Performers are doing incredibly well, and then instinctively the swerve happens and they get the turn. What's that like in the locker room? If you're already on a course, you're focused as an athlete, and you're like, right, I'm on this track now, and then switch. How does that make the guys feel?
It just every scenario is different. I see what you're saying as far as where you're going with it. I
Mm,
think, for example, with John, I think the crowd, again, the crowd always usually dictates where you're going, how if you're getting over or not. I think with John, I think the case is like the people realize, hey, this is it.
mhm.
This guy is going to be gone. I mean, if he happens to hang around for one WrestleMania match, maybe if, and that's a big if, we have discussed that off air, but like you said, going forward, I think you had predicted he would turn back in November.
Yeah.
It happened earlier than that. But I think the fact that people are realizing, even I'm sitting at home watching this, I'm going, wow, he's going to be out of here. He's going to be done. And so I think that people are realizing, man, we really need to embrace this guy again, like right now. Now is the time. That's what I think. Yeah, exactly. Boom, boom, boom.
So what you're telling me is your time is up, my time is now. That's what we're rocking it.
I just think that the fans are realizing, hey, we need to take this in because
Time
pretty
is
soon,
ticking.
pretty soon, yeah,
The
exactly.
sands of the hourglass are filtering their way down. There is not
So
too
true.
many grains left. So, yes, get your Cena merch while you still can. And speaking of merch, it's a nice time to get a little plug in for our biggest merch sellers. It's from Title Run Toys. We have got our Series 1 lined up. And as they announced on their socials, they've got a beautiful little extra stock of Series 1. So if you missed the initial release, you can now catch up on it and get not just one, but two of your favorite Bryan Clark superheroes as Wrath makes his way onto the retro line, working his way alongside Juventud Guerrera, Dangerous Danny Davis, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, and everybody's favorite dancing cat, Ernest Miller. They've announced Series 2. Go out of your way and check out Title Run Toys on all their social media. Well, there's the plugs. And speaking of plugs, John Cena's hair looks epic. And Sami Zayn has been rocking it as well in that ring. We just gave him the rub. He is doing an epic job. But one of the points I wanted to talk to you about was John Cena is currently honoring some of his past rivals by utilizing their finishing maneuvers in his matches. We've seen everything from Baron Corbin's End of Days to Kurt Angle's Angle Slam on this episode of SmackDown. Is this the right thing to do, or in your opinion, should finishers be kept sacred?
Well, there's a double edge to this one. I think that yes, I think they should be whoever invented it or started with it. There's other people that use them, different finishes for different people. I think it was okay for John to use the finishes in this scenario. Normally, I would probably say no, but
Mhm.
since it is his last ride, so to speak, I think it was okay. And it really just acknowledges like the RKO or the whatever the finish is.
I
I
like
think
that feature. Did you notice that when the crowd started chanting
oh yeah,
RKO
yes.
and
So
he
that's
had
he
the
sort of
presence of mind to
yes,
switch it?
yeah. So I think it worked in this scenario, but normally I would say whoever's finisher that is sort of your finisher. But then again, if you watch other channels and other shows, you'll see 50 different finishes in one match.
Mhm.
So that may be out the window also. Hard to say.
Let me ask you this question. How many people kicked out of the meltdown? You
That's how.
nailed it.
I
Over,
I
baby.
did have, no, I never put it on Bill. I never got to put it on Bill. However, Sting is the one only guy to escape from it, the Stinger. So
There we
I'll
go.
take that. I'll take that.
Take that
Yeah,
all the way to the bank. Yes, if the icon is the only one to escape it,
yeah.
over like Rover is the meltdown, as is this version of the meltdown. Well, speaking of over like Rover, we also got to see a very, very special unadvertised surprise in the form of the Beast incarnate Brock Lesnar storm the stage and decimated John Cena, and has just sold out a pay-per-view in 8 words. I can't believe it. Their debut on ESPN. It's going to be Brock Lesnar versus John Cena with the words, "Hey, John, I'll see you at WrestlePalooza, bitch." And that was it. That was all he needed to say, right? How easy is it sometimes when you've got the right ingredients for the cake?
Yeah, his presence is just so overwhelming. His whole career, I mean, has been like that. And for him to, go over to UFC for those few years and then even try the NFL and almost make that, and then to come back, he looked like he was in really good shape.
Mhm.
I don't think he's ever been out of shape, honestly. You think about his entire career, but yeah, his presence and him coming in and just total destruction on everybody, and leaves them laying, and then just sets it up for the coming up PLE. Great, great tie in there for all those guys, even with Sammy to get a little bit of that rub also.
It was nice. It was a lovely touch to have the United States title defended against John Cena, who had such a beautiful hold over that particular title, the first title that he ever won in his career, someone who brought in the US Open, and someone who's just meant so much to the SmackDown brand as it was exclusive to the SmackDown brand over the years. I thought it was excellently placed. Now, one of our main features in the show today, as it is every week, is when I raise my hands. And speaking of stalwarts, beautiful historic names of a particular brand, I'm going to invite the creation of Devastation to play a little winner stays on Smackdown announce team. Now, I'm going to play a little bit different today with you, Brian, because
Okay.
I'm going to give you 7 play-by-play announcers and I'm going to give you 7 color commentators. Whoever wins out of the 7 each is your ultimate commentary team. So the question is, are
Oh.
you ready?
Well, I wasn't really expecting this, but anytime I get the chance to play this, I like it. I love it when our guests come in and they play this because they get so excited. Yes, I am ready. Let's do it.
Well, let's get you excited. Let's rock on, Tommy, and let's go for it. That's for our British fans out there. Right, the hands are lined up. We're going to kick off. Play-by-play announcers. Michael Cole or Joe Tessador?
Michael Cole.
Gotta be. Michael Cole or Josh Matthews?
Michael Cole.
Michael Cole or Tom Phillips?
Michael Cole.
Michael Cole or Mauro Ranallo?
Michael Cole.
Michael Cole or Todd Grisham?
Michael Cole.
Michael Cole or Jim Ross?
Michael Cole.
Ooh! 7 for 7. He advanced his way
I had
into the
to. I
commentary
mean,
booth.
yeah, he's so impressive. He has gotten better every year, if that's possible. And don't get me wrong, Jim Ross does a great job. That would be my number two. But yeah, got to go with Michael Cole.
One thing I find that is so wonderful about Michael Cole is that no matter what happens to his partners, he is always a constant. He is 52 weeks a year. He is no weeks off. He is what the WWE programming needs, and that is consistency. He is the voice that is literally driving that ship, no matter what brand he is on, and he is there week after week after week. Whether or not Pat McAfee wants to take some weeks off because he's got burnout, whether Joe wants to disappear because he's got another sport to host, whether there's another athlete that wants a nice little vacation, everybody can have a vacation and everybody deserves a vacation. But Michael Cole is the one man that I believe just doesn't ever need to take it because he lives and breathes the WWE. It really, really comes out. And he has just gone from step to step to step to step into legendary status. So, Michael Cole, surefire Hall of Famer. Right, we've got our play-by-play in place. Let's
Okay.
see who his color would be. Right, we're going to kick it off. Jerry the King Lawler or Paul Heyman?
Jerry Lawler.
The King goes over. Jerry Lawler or Booker T?
Jerry Lawler.
The King is still on the throne. Jerry the King Lawler or JBL?
Oh,
Oh, tough one now, right?
yeah, yeah. Love JBL, but I'm going to stick with the King.
Sticking with the King, the crown is still on straight. Jerry the King Lawler or Wade Barrett?
Oh, really like Wade's work. I really do. But I got to go with the Kingfish.
Keep with the Kingfish. Preston North End Football Club is currently crying. Jerry the King Lawler or Corey Graves?
Wow. I'm doing a change up, man. I'm going Corey Graves.
Oh, very
Going Corey.
interesting.
Yes,
Okay, Corey
I
Graves
know.
going into the final shot.
Yes.
Corey
Yes.
Graves or Taz?
Corey Graves.
There we go. We've rounded it out. Michael Cole and Corey Graves
Yeah.
are the ultimate SmackDown announce team for the one and only Brian Clark. We will send this to them.
They're
Let
both
them know
so
the love's there.
they are always so full of great information. The inside of the, like for example, with Corey being a former worker and being in the ring and knowing everything and all the nuances of the business. And then, of course, Michael Cole with over 20 years of experience. It's just a great duo. And don't get me wrong, I understand McAfee has to come and go with pro sports and those type things. But I do like McAfee. I really do. People, a lot of people hate on him a little bit, but he really embraced the business and worked hard to get a spot in the business. So
Mhm.
I personally would love for him to come back at some point.
I'm sure he will. I'm sure when he gets all his planets aligned and he gets himself into a state where he's got a stretch in his calendar that he can work, then he'll be back. I'm a big fan of Pat McAfee's as well. Speaking of our commentary teams, Wade Barrett was under the microscope this week. I don't know whether or not you saw this, with a little bit of friction in between himself and Nikki Bella, which was squashed beautifully in the way that it should be done. Little face to face, a little conversation, put it on social media. We'd had that chat already. However, one point I do want to raise with you is one tweet that he did send out, because directly after that conversation happened, lots of wrestling media outlets started reporting that Wade had actually been suspended from his commentary role because of the Nikki Bella situation. And Wade instantly went into overdrive, took to Twitter, and nailed us with this tweet. I usually ignore BS reports like this, but it's causing needless hate to be spewed towards people I work with. WWE have kindly given me a couple of weeks off for personal time, booked 9 months ago, and then I'm back to business as usual. A complete non story. The end. That is so refreshing that
Yeah,
somebody took to social media to
yeah,
promote the positivity that we promote on this show, to say it's a non-story. Stop spewing the negative. And if you want to report on anything, just say that I'm going to enjoy a nice couple of weeks off with my family.
yeah,
What kind? This
yeah.
is what we're facing every day, right?
Yeah, that's a great job by Wade Barrett to step up and to get rid of it right away. Get rid of the negative vibes. Get rid of whatever if it's making people uncomfortable at work. So great job by Wade to be able to step up and say, "Look, this is garbage. You're just promoting some negative, maybe even hate that we don't need. Let's keep it positive." And that's what he did. And I think that's refreshing. Like you said, that's the things you need.
That is the way that we need to
Yep,
go. And us here on the
yep,
Meltdown, we want to be that measuring stick when it comes to positivity. We want to raise the roof. We want to lift you up rather than bring you down. Because as everybody does on social media, they're scrolling through and you're hit with clickbait that is always got a negative trace. The news outlets, different news channels, whether it be here in the UK or over in the US, they are
yeah.
selling negativity. Sell positive stories. Tell everybody about the good things that are going on in life and bring a smile to somebody's face rather than beat them down with it.
Yeah.
I can get off my soapbox now, Brian.
No, hey, you're right, Tom. I mean, we have enough stress in the world, and everyone has their own story and all the issues and everything. Just try to bring a smile to someone. Do something nice.
Yes.
That doesn't cost you a dime to be nice.
Doesn't cost a thing, does it? It's
Say it.
nice to be nice. I was always taught that. And manners don't care.
I was
Does
the same way. Yep.
not cost you anything. Go out of your way. Be nice to
There
someone
you go.
today, and they might just pay it forward. Well, speaking of paying it forward, the next two competitors that took to the ring absolutely lit it up, and I am dying to see more from both of these guys and what they've got to offer. Alistair Black and Damian Priest. What do you think of them?
Oh, both amazingly talented. I love the fact that both of them have a very deep knowledge of martial arts,
Mhm.
and they both use them very well. Damien is probably what 6'5", I'm guessing, probably around 240, 245. They both have excellent kicks. I love their work, and I think they do really great job of telling a story. And this again, huge platform on Friday night SmackDown, huge crowd, and they delivered a really good match. And I was thinking to myself, maybe Damien has lost a little bit of steam since he was put in that top spot, but this actually may bring him up. It may not be the main event again, but I think this keeps him relevant. You know, but I like both. I like both of their work styles.
Keeping that elevator
Yeah.
channeling towards the penthouse is
Yep.
what these guys have got to do. They've got to keep elevating and elevating. But the question that I've got for you, they are two phenomenal talents. They
Mhm.
told a great story throughout this entire segment. But
Yep.
how do today's stars, like Aleister Black, like Damian Priest, like Sami Zayn and others,
Mhm.
elevate themselves to become that A plus level talent of a John Cena, of a Cody Rhodes, of a Brock Lesnar, CM Punk, Roman Reigns? How do they get there?
I would say the number one thing, in my viewpoint, is consistency. You have to be consistent. And that means week in and week out. For example, I know this is comparing a wrestler to an announcer, but look what we talked about Michael Cole earlier.
Mhm.
It's that type of thing, except in the wrestling ring. And being the Miz did it for many, many years. He's a guy that has done that for year after year. Being R-Truth, look how long he has stayed around, but not necessarily a main event status, top of the card, but still being relevant. And that's the key. That Chris Jericho is a master of it. But that's the number one thing. I would say consistency. There's other
Consistency.
yeah, there's other things, there's other parts of it to the writing. If you have someone that's really writing, keeping you in the storyline, but you have to bring yourself, your mind, your body. You got to stay so focused. So yeah, that's what I would say.
I feel from the two of them,
Mhm.
both phenomenal, both are definite future main eventers, and they have got the ability to move themselves into that A plus category.
Yeah.
Um, I feel that Aleister Black just has the edge, just that little bit more, because he has a very defined character and persona that he is playing to. It is very dark, it is very sinister, it is very different than what we see from a lot of other competitors that are on the roster. Do you think that in today's WWE, he would be in benefit of fronting a faction similar to how he did in AEW?
Yeah, I looked at our notes earlier today in our production meeting, if you will. Yeah, I don't think so. I think if you start getting too many groups left, right, they're all over the place. I think that takes away. You think about it, we've already got Paul Heyman's group, you know.
You've got yeah Seth Rollins group. You've got the Bloodline. You've got
Yes. So,
all
so
sorts of
think about
different
yeah,
factions.
and so if you added another one, it would just get lost. So I think he's better off running solo, you know, and
I've
not that solo, but his solo.
I'm glad that we're singing from the same page because
Yeah.
as I wrote that question, I was hoping you would say that because I feel
Yeah.
that he is a juggernaut himself and he
Yeah.
doesn't need the added leverage. The spotlight really just needs to be on Aleister Black. I feel
Yes.
he's got that it factor, and even if you were to place him into a feud with, for example, if a John Cena was sticking around, he could go toe to toe. He could live that dream beautifully. Well, speaking of living the dream, another company that is living the dream is the Mexican promotion of Triple A, as they're going to present their Worlds Collide pay per view very, very soon. But my question for you is: has the WWE turned a Mexican institution into just another WWE brand? What do you think?
Uh, I have not watched a lot of that promotion. And I remember it always coming through Tucson. I remember seeing it, hearing about it, and being so close to Mexico myself. Um, I don't know. Will they get swallowed into that WWE umbrella and then just be another show? It's very possible. I mean, it seems like they are getting everything in sight. I mean, they could probably swallow up a couple of UK promotions. Who knows? But it's very possible right now. Because there are so many lucha fans. Like I said, at least in my area, and it's really big. So I don't know. Maybe they're strong enough to survive it and still have their following and it not be so much under that umbrella.
I hope so. I hope that their fingerprints are still over the product.
Yeah. I
That's what I hope, because it had such a beautiful eloquence to itself, and the way that it put over its own show and its own fans and dealt with its own fandom in such a unique way, in the lucha way. I just hope that the WWE doesn't water it down so much that it is just another brand. So let them keep a little element of themselves, please. Triple H. Well, let's move on. Sorry, Brian. Go.
I want to tie into this real quick. Just what we just thought about, what we were just talking about with the AAA. We're trying, and we are trying to have one of the biggest luchadors of all time. I actually had a phone call with him today. Just putting it out there in the universe. If he's listening, we
Don't say anymore.
yeah, I don't see that's enough.
All right. It's all about secrets on the pre-production meeting. Secrets. Shh.
Exactly. Especially the bomb that was dropped on me.
It was a nuclear blast.
Yeah, I can't even touch that. Okay.
No, not yet. Not yet. We will come to it. We will come to it. Well, speaking of nuclear blasts, we're going to face you with another contest right now, and another favorite amongst the Meltdown universe. You've already played Winner Stays On, and right now, seeing as we were just talking about Triple H, we're going to hit Brian up with his winner. No, not his Winner Stays On. He's already done that. With his Mount Rushmore. With his Mount Rushmore of authority figures. We saw Nick Aldis a few times on this SmackDown episode, and I want to find out who Brian hits it out as 4 big names when it comes to general managers or commissioners or presidents. They come under all different names, but who would your 4 be?
Wow. Did think about this one. You are playing along also, right? Tomcat?
I am.
Okay. So you want me to hit? You ready?
Do you want me to guess how many we're going to sync first?
Absolutely, yes.
All right. I think we're going to sync 2. I think we're going to sync 2.
I will agree with that too.
Ooh, interesting.
I will agree with that.
Let's see if we both take the loss.
Exactly. All right. Hey, will not be our first time doing the job. It's okay. All right. Here we go. My 4. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Drum roll.
Brrr.
All right. For those listening at home, riding down the interstate, maybe you're at I-10 cruising by Tucson. Who knows? Here we go. Teddy Long.
Belter, player.
Eazy-E himself, Eric Bischoff.
Nice.
I got to throw a sweet, wonderful, kind, loving lady, Vicky Guerrero.
Very good. Excuse me.
Excuse me, yes. Okay, and the last one I had trouble with, but just because he had something to do with the WCW takeover, a little bit kind of thing, and throughout his career, I'm going to throw a Shane O'Mac in there. I'm going to go with Shane McMahon on the 4th one.
Very nice. Excellent job, good sir. Well, shall we find out from your
I'm curious now. I got to know.
From your 4 epic names if we matched up with 2. So I'm going to kick it off with Eazy Eric Bischoff. His presence on screen, whether it be WCW or the WWE, was always memorable, always entertaining, and always worth a change of the channel to see what he was up to. Eric, we are now currently on 1-on-1. My second name was the name that was synonymous with the WWF through the 80s and the early 90s, because when this character appeared on screen, you legitimately thought that something was going down. It's Jack Tunney.
Yes. Okay. Say no more. Yeah, I love it.
I am going to put Jack Tunney. I love the fact that Bobby Heenan used to call him on the take Tunney. It really made me laugh every time. And that came to fruition as well. Wow. So Jack was my number 2. Number 3 on the bounce was Stephanie McMahon, not Shane. Steph took the lead just due to her longevity on SmackDown as a performer, and I just thought her on-screen presence working against Eric was epic back in the early noughties. Brilliant.
I agree. Yes.
4th and final name. Do we get the 2? Brrr. I'm going to put you one-on-one with The Undertaker. It's Teddy Long.
Yes, all right. Hey, we love Teddy. I watch Teddy shows with Mac. Mac Davis is co-host, and I catch those guys. I'll stop in and say hello to them. And they know we're kicking the doors in over here on the Meltdown also. So yeah, big fan of Teddy. Teddy's a great guy. Mac
Well, let's
also
hit the
great
self
guy.
high five because we
Yep.
double bubbled and we nailed it. And we've gone out with the winner's share of the purse money. It's the big W for the creation of Devastation and the Tomcat. Excellent job, mate. Right, as we are carrying on throughout this beautiful SmackDown show, we're going to try and wrap everything up for you guys in the next 10 minutes. So we had Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre cutting a beautiful promo. They're always bringing out the best qualities in each other. Next week's showdown of these two alphas has stirred my interest. And what
Okay.
should definitely be an epic encounter to continue their story. Two more of our favorites, right?
Oh yes, no doubt about it. Both uh, greatly. I mean, they're great. Let's just be honest about it. Two of my favorites.
Two surefire Hall of Famers right
Oh
there as
yes,
we progress.
hands
We
down.
go into a number of different backstage segments involving Tiffany Stratton, Jade, Nia Jax, Becky Lynch, Nick Aldis, which rounds us into the WWE Women's United States title as Julia faced Michin. One of the notes that I had for this particular match is, as an athlete, how giving is Michin? She seems to be in a constant position as elevator of talent, extremely underrated in the ring, yet consistently performs at a high level. Does certain talent realize that level is their glass ceiling and then just pursue that role to the best of their ability in order to maintain a position on the roster? Not everybody can be in the main event, but she is smashing it week after week after week. Or do you think that consistency could pay off for a Michin and she bursts through?
I think it could pay off for her. The office sees that, and the talent around her see how hard she's working, how consistent she is. So we said that earlier in the show about being consistent. I think that's definitely one of those things. You don't want to be in that role where you're just, it seems like you're superstar enhancement material.
Mm-hmm.
But that can work for you also because she looks. I'll give you an example. Not that he isn't handsome, but anyway, Sami Zayn. Look at how he's progressed. Just think of that, and this is the woman's version of that. So I don't think it's going to hurt her, especially if she continues to shine. She can
Absolutely.
elevate. Yeah, she can elevate definitely.
1,000%. And if you
Yep.
scroll it back to 2002, John
Yep.
Cena was in the exact same position. He was performing at a high level consistently on Velocity and early SmackDown stars. And all it took was a little Halloween promo just to make him seen before he was unseen. Keep going, Michin. You've got our respect here at the Meltdown. We're going to go into our final segment of the night, and this is the one that had everybody's hair on the back of their neck stood up as Seth Rollins made his way out into the crowd. His music hit. Oh, he was ready to burn it down. Becky Lynch took to the ring, as did CM Punk, and cut an epic promo that brought out the return of AJ Lee. What a pop.
Chicago was waiting for this. They had all week to think about this. And what timing for her to come back in Chicago. I love the way they set this up with Seth up in the grandstand, up in the box seats, and Becky just crushing the crowd, just beating Chicago down. Crushed the Blackhawks, the Bears, every sports team in town. She put the boots to verbally, which was fantastic. I loved it. I had to call my wife because she had to get to see it. I was like, Michelle, you got to come see this because Becky was going off, and so I love that part of it. And to build that up to where AJ comes down, I mean, perfect. It was laid out. This was like another 16-minute segment that really popped.
Really pop. She looked in phenomenal position,
Oh,
didn't
wow.
she?
Yes. That's in my notes here a little further back. But yeah, ripped. That's the word I was looking for. Ripped.
Ripped.
I
She
mean,
was
yeah.
conditioned. She was ready for that role. she looked like she hadn't aged in a day. Just like Brian Clark, you guys have found the fountain of youth. Wow, she looked
Uh,
exactly like she did in 2015,
yeah.
like she had just blipped and come straight back at the Avengers Endgame. She was awesome. Absolutely nailed the segment. She hadn't missed a beat. She knew exactly where to look, the camera angles, the placement of her face, just how she could turn and look at the crowd to elicit a response. Timing is everything. And what I wrote down for this segment is this show close made me want to see more.
Right there, what you just said, and in my notes here, I when AJ came to the ring and jumped on Becky on three different occasions, the
Mhm.
ground pound attack, where sometimes when that happens, it looks soft and it looks, oh, they're holding back. No, it looks like from what I was seeing, she looked like she was laying it in, and that makes all the difference in the world. That makes the angle so much more believable, and that's what you want. And so I think she did a great job, considering she's been out of the ring for so long, to come out live crowd and just put the boots to Becky like that and to really lay in the groundwork. Excellent job.
The WWE's algorithm was perfect on this episode of SmackDown. Like I've just said, it left me wanting more. And from any TV show, that is what you should aim to have from your audience. So from us here at the Meltdown, we implore and applaud the team over at WWE for putting on an absolutely incredible show. Definite thumbs up from me. Thumbs up from you, big man.
Absolutely. Yes, I enjoyed it. Really, one of the better Friday Night SmackDowns I've watched in a while.
Superb. Well, it's what we're going to do here on the Meltdown. We have wonderful feedback when it comes to our amazing guests, and we are not going to stray from that. We are going to continue to bring you some of the biggest guests from WWE, from WCW, from TNA, from AEW, and we are going to give you just that little bit extra when it comes to stars from different sports and media genres as we progress. But we are going to keep very current and keep our eye on the product each and every week. And if there's a show as good as this one, we're going to hit you up with a review. So, yeah, big thumbs up from Meltdown Central. Speaking of Meltdown Central, just before we go, we have got a very special message in our Meltdown mailbag today, coming all the way from Winter Garden, Florida. All good, old stomping grounds of FL. Fallon Robinson asks us this question. Brian, you get to pick your own opponent to slot into a 3-month program with. Which current star would you choose as your rival?
Great question. Thank you, Fallon Robinson, a Winter Garden. We appreciate you sending great questions to the mail. But we get so many great questions to our mailbag here. I would have to go, honestly, if you think about it, and if I could pick the best time, like for example, the best condition, the best looking, I would go with the Wrath version as a singles competitor.
Yeah.
I would have to go against Drew McIntyre. I would say Wrath at 6'6", 292. Drew McIntyre at 6'5", 275. I had an aerial attack. He had it. Just so many, that would be, if I could go back in time to the old time machine, I would probably put Wrath taking on Drew McIntyre.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that. It's the Meltdown versus the Claymore. It's the creation of Devastation versus the Scottish Psychopath.
Yeah.
Very similar in structure. The mirror image that would be present and correct inside that WrestleMania ring, because that is a showcase of 3 months that would lead from the Rumble to Mania, right?
Oh,
Epic.
yes.
Let's go. Who's going over?
Hey, I'll do business. I'll put him over.
Gonna send this to Drew now.
Yes.
You owe us
Yeah,
someone.
and send a time machine with it so that I can be prepared.
Love that. Fallon, thank you so much for your question. It means
Thank
such a lot to us to get them in. So, ladies and gentlemen, please feel free. Do drop us your messages into our Meltdown mailbag. You can hit us up 3 ways. Follow us on Instagram at the Meltdown Official. You can send us all your messages there. You can follow Brian at Brian Clark 3X Champ. You can follow me at Tom Finkill. Send us your little messages and let us know what you would like to post to the big man over in Tucson. And we'll see exactly what he's got lined up for you. I like that. Wrath and Drew McIntyre. Fallon, you've got me chomping at the bit now. I feel like I need to do a little fantasy booking. Well, beautiful peeps. It has been an epic week. We have got that thumbs up. As we've said, the hair is stood up on the back of our necks. We are itching for more as the WWE moves to their first PLE on ESPN. If you're watching around the world like I am, you guys can pick it up on Netflix. If you're over in the States, ESPN is where you're going to need to tune in because WrestlePalooza is going to be a banger. I'm sure from top to bottom, that card is going to be lit because they are going to look to impress, right?
Yeah, and we will keep you guys posted as far as any changes, as far as what happens on that card, because I can see that I can see some big changes coming up, but only for the positive. Again, the whole rub with the ESPN thing, man, that is going to be, I would say epic, but I'm going to almost say nuclear for the fact that every sports, I mean, the ESPN covers everything, from the college football to the NFL. I can probably see them slipping in WWE stuff throughout the programming. So it just is going to continue to build. I mean, this was actually, if you think it's a great move.
Great
Really.
move, perfect timing. They are going to work so nicely hand in hand, and there is so much cross promotion they
Oh
can
yeah.
do with other sports.
Yes.
It is very interesting to be a fan of the product right now. So check them out on ESPN. We are coming up very, very close to that WrestlePalooza date. Let's see who they book to go over. It's going to be interesting. Well, from us here on the Meltdown, make sure you check us out next week because we have got some big guests lined up. It is going to be nuclear. I'm not even going to drop any hints. I was going to drop a little hint there, but I'm going to hold it back. I'm going to hold it back.
Yeah, yeah. We don't. Hey, we don't want to get sloppy on here. We don't want. We just want to take our time with it. We don't want to get sloppy. We want to keep it clean.
If I
Keep it
had a
clean.
mic in my hand right now, I would drop it and just walk away.
Right.
You are the man when it comes to that. I love you. Right, I'm going to get out of here. We've got stuff to do. From Smackdown review, big thumbs up from the Meltdown. Let us know what you guys thought about it. Channel it from different segments. Let us know what you thought about everybody that appeared on the card. Sending love all the way around the world to all our Meltdown universe. From Manchester, tick, tick, tick. We are out of here. Boom.